Get him. Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Oh, you love to see it, man. You love to see what goes around comes around to these terrorist sympathizer groups, man. Again, these are not people who care about what's happening in Palestine. These are just people who support terrorism. And these were violent people. Or these were the people that shut down that airport and injured an airport security guard. You know?
Yes.
So,
yes, they were.
Again, violence is justified to these people. They can do whatever they want. And again, remember, Islam is spread by the sword. So this is just righteous indignation to them. They're allowed to do this. It's okay. But again, I have come to the conclusion that we can no longer, basically say that I am not for free speech for people who are not for free speech. And, Muslims, Islam, they are not for free speech. They will use our freedoms, our freedoms and our values against us to destroy us and then take over and start their caliphate or turn our country into a third world crap hole. We'll have Sharia law everywhere. So again, if you are for free speech, I am for free speech for you. But if you're just using freedom of speech in order to get to justify your end, or your end goal, which is not freedom of speech, then you can shove right off with that crap. So, sorry. Our show is anti-American visa students protesters arrested and deported. This is awesome. So this guy who's in this picture, I can't think of his name. What's the guy's name, Chad?
His name is Mahmoud Kali.
Something 9/11. So anyway. This guy has been here in America on taxpayer dollars, went and got a free education courtesy of the American taxpayer, living on campus courtesy of the American taxpayer, living in and he's not even a student anymore. Like they created a program where people who graduated, like he has a master's degree, but they created a program where people who are still affiliated with the university can stay on campus longer. So he's getting free housing, and he's got an 8-month pregnant wife. And this is a good thing. I mean, good. I'm glad he's deported. I'm glad he's gone. So this guy got caught. He was the leader of this pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine protest movement. And, one of the guys that was in the airport, and got that airport security guard guy injured. And he's been deported now. So this is good news. Again, get rid of these people. Get rid of these people. They don't care about America. They don't care about our values. Again, if you care about America, it's the same thing with the Hispanic protester waving the Mexican flag. It's like, if you want to stay here, don't wave the flag of your country, wave the flag of America. Act like you want to be here. Act like you like this country. And people will be more charitable to you. They'll be more they'll have a spirit of generosity. They'll be like, okay, well, if they really, really, really like America that much, maybe we'll be less enthusiastic about deporting them.
Yeah.
But these people are not. They don't care about America. And it's crazy right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff. We have a lot of videos that will show you that these people aren't pro-America. They don't care about America, and they only care about whatever their cause is. Again, their cause is their God. It's the most important thing in their life. So what?
Yeah. Well, the big thing is why on earth are we even allowing people who are visa students to protest against America? Like, that should be an immediate withdrawal of your visa anyway.
Oh, you don't like America?
What are you doing here? Why are you studying here if you don't like America?
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's retarded.
Yeah.
But that's what we got here. It said Senate Judiciary Democrat said, free Mahmoud Kali. And the White House said this, responded to him, said, this is the first arrest of many to come, President Trump.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't be afraid of these people. Don't be afraid of their righteous indignation. There's nothing righteous about it.
Yep. This next one that I have pulled up here says, this is, I don't know how to say, Suda Polat Mahmoud Khalid's number 2. She organized the pro-Hamas encampments in 2024 and the takeover of school buildings. She has threatened resistance to the police, and she has called for a global intifada. She is currently a student at Columbia as well.
Yeah, what does? Why don't you look up the definition of intifada real quick? Or I guess I could do it, but
Yeah, I can attempt, but you
yeah,
you got your
what
phone out
is-
right
yeah.
there. See what else?
I know intifada is not good.
Yeah. But it says, and again, there's just been blowing up all over the place. Breaking news: Mahmoud Khalid is a leading terror supporter at Columbia. Has been detained by DHS, and his green card has been revoked, and is now facing deportation. More follow soon. Good riddance, and I completely agree with that. Profiled Canary Mission. I like it.
Yeah, global intifada is like a global uprising or shake off. Like they're basically coming to take over effectively. So intifada is not a good thing, at least not for the people who are the majority in that country. And intifada is a very bad thing for the primary population of a country or a culture.
Yeah. Well, and also here's this right here. This is also a big problem that we're having right now is protesters are marching for the release of this guy. ICE agents arrested Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalid, leader in the Manhattan University's encampment movement on Saturday night. So, and now they've got people protesting for his release now, which is ridiculous.
Well, this is just, I think it's great. These are more people that will be easier to find and deport. Get rid of them too.
End the attack on students now! End the attack on students now!
End the attack on students now!
We want justice, you say how!
We want justice, you say how?
End the attack on students now!
Say how?
End
Ridiculous. These kids need to be immediately removed from their schools.
People are probably not even students. They're probably, paid activists. Again, it's like, Act Blue is probably funding a lot of this. Or you have, the thing about these Islamic ones, they're probably being funded by, who's the primary funder of terrorism in the Middle East? What's the country?
Oh. I'm drawing a blank right now. Is
The only ones I'm thinking of is
I
like,
don't remember.
it's man, dang it, this is gonna kill me because I'm gonna remember it right after the show. But there are countries Islamic countries that are funding this stuff. Like, they'll be like, oh yeah, we want to shake up the American culture. We want to encourage bad behavior. Again, same with China. That's what TikTok's for. TikTok is to demoralize the American population. Watch all the kids on TikTok who are pro-China because they're being indoctrinated by the cool side of China. Like, do you think China's going to allow them to see the crappy side of China? No, they're going to show the cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Douglas Murray is famous for saying, "Take me to the worst part of town at any country that he visits," because that's more indicative of how their country actually is versus
Yeah,
the
super
nicest
nice
part.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Said, but I got this here. This is from New York Post. ICE arrests Palestinian leader of Colombians' anti-Israel protest, revoking student visa and green card. President Trump is giving anti-Israel campus rabble-rousers a ticket to study abroad for good. A Palestinian activist who led the coalition of twisted radicals seeking the total eradication of Western civilization, responsible for the riotous protests at Columbia University and Barnard College, been arrested by ICE agents, according to his lawyer. Columbia University apartheid what does this say? Yeah, apartheid divest leader Mahmoud Khalid, who completed his graduate studies at Columbia in December, also potentially faces having his visa revoked and his green card canceled following Trump's crackdown and unrest at colleges. Attorney Amy Greer said Sunday he was inside the university's owned apartments for a few blocks away from the Ivy League campus Saturday night when ICE agents entered and took him into custody, Greer said. Despite graduating months ago, Khalid, who earned his undergraduate's degree in Beirut, still lived in school, provided housing due to the policy allowing students to remain on campus after graduating, a source told the Post. There he is. What a turd.
What a turd, man. Again, deport more of these people. Deport all of those people. I mean, seriously. Anybody who goes to these pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas rallies, I mean, any justification for getting rid of them is good justification as far as I'm concerned. You know, these people, they're anti-America. They are pro Islamic Caliphate. Most of them. Like I said, it's not about Palestine. It's not about what's going on in Palestine. It is about changing the culture and perception of America and making Islam look good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is.
Yep. He has remained active in recent disruptive protests, including last week's takeover of the Milstein Library at Barnard College. Videos and photographs posted on X depict him holding a bullhorn near the library entrance and engaging in discussion with school administrators. The protest featured violent propaganda flyers that purportedly came directly from the Hamas media office. Good Lord. Including one pamphlet titled Our Narrative, Operation Al-Aqsa Flood, which justified the October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel that killed 1,200 people, in which women were repeatedly assaulted, whole families executed, and 251 hostages taken to the Gaza Strip.
So again, they are working in tandem with Hamas. It's not for Palestine or the Palestinian people. These are Hamas talking points. The stuff that the actual government organization of Hamas is handing them or giving them.
Yep. Which says that they are a foreign agent acting in America. And I don't remember if it's treason or sedition or whichever one, but yeah, aiding and like giving out like pamphlets to that is considered treasonous, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, use the RICO case. Get all these people gathered up and get them out of here.
Others at the Barnard Library takeover passed around trading card-like photos of notorious Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, who was killed by Israel airstrike in Lebanon last September.
Oh my gosh. They're, again, baseball cards for terrorists. Folks, I mean, how more obvious does it get that these people have horrible intentions? It doesn't get any clearer than that. I'm going to give you a Osama bin Laden if you give me a Muhammad Abbas. You know, it's like, oh, can't wait. Oh, what a good trade. You know, like that's evil, folks. I mean, they're celebrating people who would do harm, who have done harm and will continue to do harm, the ones that are still alive. But yeah, holy cow, folks. I mean, that says it all.
Yeah. Said Al-Sharai, head of the college Jewish Alumni Association, told the Post that he was in dismay and concerned to see literature that was being distributed. These protesters were handing out materials from terrorist organizations Hamas and Hezbollah. Every American citizen should be concerned when students are encouraged in terrorist activities on U.S. soil regardless of their nationality. Yeah. In recent weeks, Barnard College was a site of a campus takeover with two consecutive weeks protest the expulsion of a pair of students who barged into a Columbia class on modern Israel in January and tossed around pro-Hamas flyers. One of the documents depicted an Israeli flag in flames, and another showed army boots stomping on the Star of David. In response, the administrators kicking the perpetrators off campus, dozens of masked protesters stormed the Barnard Historic Milbank Hall, the oldest building on campus, on February 26, egged on by pro-Intifada group Columbia Students for Justice in Palestine. Yeah, you can see some of the protesters and stuff right there. The fall of Columbia, or fail of Columbia. School security guard was assaulted as violent mob forced its way inside, where protesters graffitied political messages like Free Palestine and Barnard expels students. A week later, on March 5th, around 200 demonstrators seized the Academic Nerve Center in the elite private women's college, Milstein Library, where they hung an Old West-style wanted poster featuring Dean of the Students, Leslie Grenagage, or whatever her name is, and shoddy effigy of Barnard President Laura Rosenberry. The NYPD evacuated the building and bogus bomb threat and arrested 9 students from nearby schools, many of them privileged youths who had refused lawful orders to disperse. As agents raided Khalid's apartment, Columbia put out a statement addressing that the presence of the agents in the vicinity of the campus and stated its intentions not to cooperate with ICE actions except where law required. So even the school was like, hey, we're not going to help out the ICE agents because New York is a sanctuary city. And let's see here. Consistent with our longstanding practices of the city's institutions and throughout the country, law enforcement must have a judicial warrant to enter a non-public university areas, including university buildings, and the statement read in part, Columbia is committed to complying with the legal obligations and supporting the student body and campus community. Soon after his detention, Khalid supporters issued press releasing the calling the arrest racist targeting, which serves to instill fear in pro-Palestinian activists as well as a warning to others. No kidding. You are being anti-American. You're being anti-Semitic.
You're being very pro-terrorist. I mean, again, you are protesting for the antithesis of American values. Like, again, the people you're protesting for, like, look, I get it. It's the same thing as what's going on in Ukraine. We want people to stop dying. That's why I'm glad Trump is negotiating this thing out, okay? He might be a little too pro-Israel, in my opinion, but like I said, it's just one of those things where, Israel's will come to negotiate. The terrorists still have American hostages in Palestine. What do you think's going to happen? Like, one side has hostages that are Americans, one side doesn't. Who do you think Trump's going to be more friendly to? That's just common sense, folks. So, again, deport all these kids. Expel all these kids. Again, they have their own little government inside the college. It's crazy.
Yep. A petition demanding Khalid's immediate release posted on Action Network garnered more than 349,000 signatures by Sunday evening. Last September, Khalid and Columbia United Apartheid Divestment, which has vowed to escalate its tactics until the empire crumbles, were among taking part in the campus takeover and start of the school year. So they're already talking about taking over the school until their demands are met.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. It just gives us more reasons to deport all of you. Expel and deport all of them. That's what I say, man. Like, these people are they're children. They're petulant children who don't care about America and don't care about freedom of speech. They will use freedom of speech against you to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. The coalition of nearly 116 student groups at the Ivy League school who call themselves Western Fighting for the Total Eradication of Western Civilization.
Total eradication of Western civilization.
Westerners fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization.
Yeah, that sounds like a good organization to be a part of. Like, if you don't like Western civilization, why the fudge are you here? Go back to the Middle East. Go to those crap hole countries where women are beaten and brutalized, where they throw gay people off roofs. Go there. Live there. Again, people here are so dumb. Like, homosexuals for Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
Homosexuals for Hamas. Trans people for Hamas. Like, chickens for KFC.
Yeah. Again, that even says here, in a since-deleted Instagram post last August, that statement that we just read, also led the charge in a violent raid at Columbia's Hamilton Hall last April. Local and state leaders, including Governor Kathy Hochul, condemned the protests, calling the school officials to enforce disciplinary codes and impose swift actions to punish wrongdoers, a source told the Post at the time. Khalid told the Post reporter during September's protest that anti-Israeli student organizers were undeterred and promised to ramp up their actions, including establishing future encampments. As long as Columbia continues to invest and benefit from Israel's apartheid, the students will continue to resist, Khalid said. Not only protests and encampments, the sky is the limit. So he's basically talking about, escalation.
If this is a organization that is like approved by the university, the first thing they should do is revoke whatever charter they have and say you're no longer a university organization. You no longer get university donations. But again, Qatar. That's the country I was thinking of. But there's Qatari money being funded in to keep these organizations on, even if they're not a part of the university. Like this guy, the guy that's been arrested. was probably the getting funded by Qatari money in order
Qatar,
to
that's right. Mm-hmm.
to keep this organization alive, even if it doesn't have a university charter or if it's not
Yeah, that's
officially
right.
recognized by the
Qatar is
university.
the biggest promoter of education. Of higher education in America.
In America, and it's the biggest and largest funder of terrorism around the world.
Yep, makes sense, and that explains why universities are becoming more protest. Yeah,
Again, you're saying we get free money from Qatar as long as we allow these evil Islamic organizations on the campus? Let's say organizations that are called Western Forces for the destruction of Western civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that sounds like that might not be a good thing. But you're saying we get money? I mean, we're paying. Again, you don't think they were paying that guy?
Yeah, that is people, educators selling their souls to the devil, basically, for their own destruction, like just to pocket some extra cash.
Yeah. Again, your people's loyalties are only as deep as their pockets, man.
Yep. Well, continuing on, the last April, during the height of the encampment protest, Khalid told the Columbia Daily Spectator that he was not personally participating in the protest over the concerns of who would lose their student visas, in which he would lose his student visa, which allowed him to remain in the U.S. So he organized some of these ones and didn't participate in them because he doesn't want to lose his visa back in the day. He was briefly suspended that month, but he was suspended. The suspension was reversed the very next day, he told the BBC at the time. They said that reviewing evidence, they don't have any evidence to suspend, he said. Timea James, 20, prominent spokesperson for the Hamas-cheering radical collective led by Khalid, was banned from campus in the wake of the April protest after a video surfaced of them expressing violent and hateful rhetoric towards Jews. The same way that we are very comfortable accepting Nazis don't deserve to live, fascists don't deserve to live, racists don't deserve to live, Zionists, they shouldn't live in this world, said James. James later offered a tepid apology, but laid the blame at the foot of the right-wing agitators, claiming that they were targeted for being visibly queer and black.
That's so ridiculous, man. I mean, it's like saying, yeah, Muslims don't deserve to live ever. Like they don't deserve to live. I mean, those are the. I mean, imagine going to a protest, like if I led a protest saying Muslims shouldn't live. Muslims shouldn't live. Like, people would lose their crap. But I mean, you can say that about Western culture, Western society, white people, and you can say it about Jews in Israel. That's all okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it again, there's just no logic to any of this, man. It's all just age-old hatred from indoctrinated children indoctrinated from as early as childhood to hate Jews and hate Christians
and as we've shown on this show before, I mean, we're talking from children like that. They put on plays about killing Jews, and beheading Jews and Westerners.
Them,
Mm-hmm. Ridiculous. And so, getting back to this, and we're pretty much wrapped up after this. It's the last spring's encampment continued until April 18th, when Columbia President Mishun Shafik, who soon after resigned under pressure. Yeah, no kidding. You deserved it if you just let them take over your campus. Finally called the NYPD after the campus and broke up after protesters ignored warnings to leave. The cops arrested 108 participants at Columbia, which sparked the movement of solidarity protest in similar encampments, university campuses across the country. An ICE agent reported and told Khalid's lawyer Greer that the agency was enforcing the State Department edict to revoke Khalid's student visa as well as his green card, pursuant to Trump's recent pledge to deport foreign students agitators responsible for fomenting campus unrest. The news comes just days after Trump's announcements to yank $400 million in federal grants and contracts from Columbia due to its noncompliance with anti-discrimination laws.
Yeah. Again, defund all these universities that have any that accept any money from Qatar. Defund all, but again, it's like the scary thing is, what if just Qatar fully funds these universities and they just become Islamic terrorist breeding grounds? This is scary stuff, folks. And again, there doesn't seem to be any end in sight. And again, when Trump forces a settlement, do you think they're going to be happy? No, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They just want, again, they want the destruction of Israel. They want the destruction of the West. They want Islamic caliphate everywhere, all around the world. That's their goal. They want you to be their slave, or at least subservient to them. They will have you on your hands and knees crawling to your execution.
You're allowed to live in an Islamic country as a non-Islamic person, but you have to pay a
jizya.
tax. Yeah, jizya. It's an additional tax for being non-Muslim in their country.
Yep. And then you have to they can, and remember, they got Takea. They can lie to you. They are allowed to lie in their religion. They're allowed to lie, cheat, and steal in order to get what they want, as long as it forwards Islamic control and power.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you have a religion where you're allowed to lie, cheat, steal. You're allowed to kill. You're justified in killing. You're justified in enslaving and in taxing. And again, there's nothing good about that religion. Nothing. It's all evil. So what I'm trying to say is these universities are encouraging this behavior by not taking swift action against this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which brings me up to this next thing is, again, if you're talking about these kids need to be removed from our country for starting violent protests against American interests, that's fine with me, because here's another example. This guy goes around and does street interviews with foreigners that have moved to Western nations. I think mainly in this one it's like the UK. I could be wrong. We'll find out here in a second. But they're asking, would you go fight for this country? And they're all like, no. We're not from this country. Why would we fight for this country? We aren't from here.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think this is extremely important to watch this. So check this out. Where's my volume?
No, we're not from this country.
If they say it's compulsory, what would you do?
I'll just go back to eat. Go back to my country. No, I'll just go back to my country.
First of all, I'm not a UK citizen, I'm an immigrant.
I'm Welsh.
No, unfortunately not. I'm not from this country originally. You know?
Where are you from?
Brazil.
Do you live here?
Yes.
Would you go to war for this country?
No.
I'm Pakistani, so
Are you a resident?
I'm a resident. I've got dual nationality.
You guys live in the UK?
Yeah, we do.
Would you join the military? Live in the UK?
Yeah, we do.
Would you join the military?
No, we're not from this country.
If they say it's compulsory, what would you do?
I'll just go back to eat. Go back to my country. No, I'll just go back to my country.
There you go. You have a bunch of people that live in your country that don't give two craps about it. They won't help you defend it. They won't protect it. They don't care what happens to it. This is why you have to have people in your nation that give a crap and have a vested interest in your nation.
Yeah, again, these people, they don't care. They don't care about your values. They don't care about your culture. They just came to benefit from your culture and your society. The society that you built, the society that your taxes built, they're there to benefit from it. And again, remember, the vast majority of the lie that the Democrats always say, immigrants actually pay more in taxes, that immigrants love paying taxes. It's like, no, the vast majority of immigrants will actually be a burden on the welfare systems more than they will actually pay into it.
Yep.
Again, this is why the Democrats are freaking out about the USAID. Like, they're worried about their paychecks. Like, they were importing a voter base. They don't care about how it affects you.
Yep. They have it is a slave. It's a slave master relationship with them. It's like, as long as you vote for me, I don't care what you do.
Yeah. Again, you can be a criminal. You can lie, cheat, steal, kill. As long as you vote Democrat, we're fine with whatever it is you do. Just stay out of our hair, and we'll stay out of your hair.
Which brings up the next meme that I pulled up. Says, Representative Rashida Tlaib voted against cracking down on cartel border tunnel systems, which they use to traffic drugs into our country. And I just find it completely ironic that one of the very pro-Islamic terror representatives that we have is which is now terrorist
tunnels.
Terrorist organization tunnels right now. Hilarious.
She's like, we like tunnels in my country. I bet you do, lady.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
Mm-hmm. Hilarious. But then I think really that's about all we have left here is these funny memes right here that. Oh, there's this one first. This is Canada. Like, they do a call to prayer in the middle of the street in Canada.
Scumbags, man. Scumbags. Listen to these people honking the car. Get the hell out of the way. Like, again, this is why another reason I don't like Islam, because, like, in Christianity, you're supposed to pray. Like, when you do good not to be seen doing good. You do good to do good because you're supposed to do good. When you pray, you're supposed to pray on your own time in silence. And your conversation with the Lord is between you and him. It's not supposed to be like, look at how righteous I am. I am praying. Watch me pray, everyone. That's what Islam is. Islam is, look how good I am. I'm praying. I'm doing my call to prayer. Everybody's watching me. It's like when they do Ramadan or whatever. It's like, watch, I'm fasting, everyone. Look, I'm fasting. Look how good I am. You know, it's like, and you're not really fasting. They just change their eating habits. They're not allowed to eat during the day. They're only allowed to eat at night. So it's like, so it's not fasting.
Yeah. They gorge themselves in the early morning before the day, and then they gorge themselves that evening when they get done.
Fasting my ass, okay? Like, that's not fasting. Like, fasting is like what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm going without food for a couple of days. Like, that's fasting. Like, I plan on going the rest of this week without food. Like, that's fasting. I'm not going to be like, okay, sun went down. Now I'm going to be like, blah, 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 blah. You know, that, again, not fasting. Again, the religion is just a parody. Islam is a parody of religion, you know? Like, again, I love my Islamic brothers and sisters out there, okay? But I want you to come to Christianity. I want you to come to accept Christ as your Lord and Savior, because that's true love. That's true, that's a true martyr. That's true sacrifice, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, this next one that I have pulled up is just a funny meme from SKS Cartoons, and it's liberals then. It's no more no more U.S. intervention. Stop American imperialism. America is not the world police. And then Donald Trump gets into office, says, okay, cool, we're out. Now, they've all changed their tune. Russia, 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 traitor. He's a Putin puppet.
Yep. Again, I mean, the anti-war party, the Democrat Party, was the anti-war party. And now they're the pro-war party. They're like, we got to stick it out for Ukraine. Why?
Yeah.
Like, why? Because they're our ally? They're not in NATO? Like, well, they should be. It's like, okay, so you just want to guarantee a war? Like, what's the deal here? I thought Democrats didn't want us to be the world police. So, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. You know, it just goes to show you that they never had any principles to begin with. They never had any, they never had any morality. They were just using it as the position as the moral high ground at the time. Now it's not convenient anymore.
Yes, but it goes back to the other thing that we talked about yesterday, is like with the curing cancer thing. It doesn't matter what Trump does. They have to do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump cures cancer. Cancer's a good thing. We want cancer.
Yeah.
But this next one is the one that you sent me, which I think is great. The world. Why does the U.S. always feel the need to get involved in the world's affairs? The U.S. Okay, we're going to remove ourselves from the world's affairs. The world, and it's James Franco from whatever that movie was.
No, and I think Nathan Mangrum sent this. I didn't send this.
Oh, Nathan Mangrum did? That's even better.
Yeah. Good. He said it during the last show yesterday. Like, I looked down at the phone and I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's great. That is 100% great. Way to go, Nate. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Again. You're telling me my man doesn't pee or poo?
That is great. Yeah. Oh, man. But that's really about, I think, all we've got for today. So, like, we can just wrap it up, and we've got your little funny video to play us out with.
Absolutely. So, again, deport all these pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine protesters. Deport them all. Like, again, if you're not waving an American flag, I don't want you here, okay? Like, if you don't want to be a part of this country, if you don't want to be a part of what America is and the values that we hold, you don't need to be here. Go somewhere else. Don't try to ruin our country. Go back to your already ruined country. And he said there's nowhere in the Middle East other than maybe Dubai in the UAE, you know, that people will say that are decent Middle Eastern countries. So don't try to turn this country into a third world crap hole because you want an Islamic caliphate and you want Sharia law. We don't want that here. Our country was built on Christian values, and that's what I want it to stay. Period. So that's about all I've got for you today. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. That is all we've got. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
It's only 3 days till the beheading, and I've got no idea what I'm going to wear.
Abdul seduced me online. He had me at free healthcare.
So this is my 6th marriage. I've been widowed 5 times. 6 times. I'm so glad I've moved over here. It's everything those guys on the chat rooms told me it would be, and it's full of so many wonderful surprises. Didn't have to do this in Birmingham.
Are you ready, girls?
Yeah, hang on, I'm recording it for Instagram.
Ta-da! What do you think? Oh, man surprised me with it yesterday.
Hashtag OMG, hashtag Jihadi Jane, hashtag Death to the West ISIS emojis.
Oh, babes, I love it. You look gorgeous.
She looked massive. You're gonna need a lot of Semtex to kill that one.
Oh, guys.
Hey, ladies! What do you think of this?
Awkward. What a complete She knew I had that jacket. Copies everything. Copied this. Oh my god, it was so cringe. Hashtag matchy matchy.
It's times like this I wish I'd never moved out here.
Coming up next week.
He won't stop talking about his 40 virgins. Why can't he be happy with me?
Ali bought me a new chain, which is 8 foot long.
It's only 3 days till the beheading.